And welcome to the NFL Today on YouTube, folks. There is some news in the world of college football. It is now official. After weeks of speculation, Lane Kiffin has made the decision to leave Ole Miss to become the next head coach of the LSU Tigers. Now, Kiffin leaves Oxford with a 55-19 record in his 6 years at the helm. The Rebels are currently 11-1. They're on the precipice of their very first college football playoff appearance in program history. By the way, Kiffin will not be coaching the Rebels in the upcoming college football playoffs, and Ole Miss has elevated defensive coordinator Pete Golding to be the permanent coach of the program. Bill Cowher, an awful lot of discussion about the decision-making process there. Your thoughts?
Well, before I get to the process, let's just talk about Lane Kiffin's decision and what he asked in his statement, that he was denied the opportunity to coach the Ole Miss team through the course of the playoffs. And he was denied by the AD. And I would say, why would you even ask that question? Why would an AD let a coach who made a decision that he wanted to go to LSU and not stay at Ole Miss coach my players and use my coaches and tell them for the next month why they should be joining him at LSU? Totally understand. I would just say thank you, Lane, and goodbye. And that being said, if indeed he decides to take other coaches with him, I would just say any player that goes to play for Lane Kiffin, just understand one thing. It's not about the program. It's about Lane Kiffin. Because he don't care about the players that he just went through a season with, a special season, players he's had for 4 years, with an opportunity to go to the playoffs. He's decided to take them and not only leave them, which I get, okay, you want to do that, but now you're going to take offensive coaches with you and destroy the program.
And deplete the program.
Deplete the program and the dreams of these young men who you said that you want to be there and you want to do it with. But if I can't do it, I'm not going to let you do it yourself. The NCAA has got a problem. There's no guardrails. This landscape it's involved right now, not just with players, I'm talking even of the coaches, but even with players. You're talking about the portal, the NIL. We have now got this landscape is totally out of control. It's a wild, wild west out there, and something needs to be done. And hopefully a situation like this, where those players at Ole Miss, they're the losers in this thing, because this guy just left them, abandoned them.
And disrupted everything.
Everything.
Hey, let me just add to that, too, because you know what?
And let me say one last thing. I understand that he went, and I don't have any problem with that. But you know what? If you go, then go. And, wish them nothing but the best. Don't disrupt that program. Don't take any of those coaches. Let them stay there and let them finish the job that you left because you didn't want to finish it, because you decided you want to go somewhere else. That's fine. But don't take everybody else with you and try to destroy that program, that organization. Because, hey, you know what? That administration, that school, they gave you the money for the NIL. Those assistant coaches helped you.
And it worked. You're playing well.
It wasn't just about you. A football program is not just about the head coach. It's about the assistants. It's about the organization. It's about everybody else, the administrative staff that sat there and supported you all those years, all those alumni that sat there and gave you money for NIL. It's about them, too. Yeah. You've left them. And so it isn't just about you, Lane Kiffin.
But let me just make this point as well, too. It also rings hollow when coaches are making promises to kids and their parents about what they're going to represent. But we find out what it really means when we see a decision-making process that entailed all of this. It ain't pretty.
Yes, I have relationships with coaches all over the country. And I hear them saying the same thing. I'm talking about college coaches. As soon as a player leaves, they're pointing the finger at the young guy and saying, oh, this new era of college football, it's upside down. This is ridiculous. They're going and they're chasing their own careers.
It's upside down?
Yeah, and they're chasing their money. They're chasing their careers. They're chasing their own individual wants and needs. But then you have coaches doing the exact same
thing. Doing the same thing.
And these are the same coaches, like you said, that call you up, that sit in your living room, that email you, text you, reach out to you and say, no, we got your son's back. We have his best interest at heart. And I'm going to be here for the long run. But that's false, though. I have 2 sons in college. They have already had multiple coaches, not just position coaches, but head coaches. And it just seems like right now, yes, it is the Wild Wild West. And I don't know where we're going to go from here.
We cover the NFL. And the NFL is the most popular sport in our country because it's clearly defined what the time frame is, what the rules are, when you can hire, when you cannot hire. And it's what makes it so competitive. The fact that we view, or some people still view, college sports as amateur athletics, to me is laughable. It is not. Given the money, given the amount of movement that there is from school to school, coaching staff to coaching staff, all of those things, I think it's absolutely laughable. Until there's clear structures in place, like the NFL has, a regular free agency period that's not during a season,
Yeah.
which is the portal. The portal right now goes from January 2nd to January 16th, I believe, in 2026. You also have weird rules to it, the coaching change window, that there's 5 days after or whatever. Then there's a postseason exception. Like, how do you make sense of any of this? How do you plan as a program for what your future is going to look like? If you take Lane Kiffin out of this scenario, to me, this is an institutional problem. This is an NCAA problem. This is a college football problem. This is all of college athletics right now. It's out of control, like you said. It's the wild, wild west. And until there is some kind of structure that everybody plays by that makes sense for the timing with which they play, so that if there is a decision that if I am a head coach and it is my time to move on to a different program, whether that be an Ole Miss to an LSU or a Tulane to a Florida, there's the appropriate protocols that are in place that you can do it the right way. Until that happens, this is going to be a complete joke. Things like this are going to continue to happen.
You know, I sat there and coached in the National Football League for 15 years. And part of my responsibility to me was not just winning football games, it was developing young men, understanding responsibilities, understand that, you know, when you have sacrifice and you give up something for a greater need of a team, that's one of the greatest accomplishments you can have in life. And so when you take a selflessness and you can apply that, because you understand in life it's not going to always be easy.
Right.
And sometimes you're not going to have to go to the portal. You know what? You're going to have to work to become a starter. Those are true values you can take to any quality of life, to the next level. And so right now it's so easy. There's a sense of entitlement that if I don't get told I'm going to start, I'm going to go somewhere else. Give me more money, I'm going to go there. You keep chasing things, you'll never grow as an individual. And that, to me, are the lessons that I try to teach to players. And I try to adhere to that myself as a parent and as a coach, because that was my obligation. I wanted them to leave a better person, not a better player, and that'll come with the course of that, a better person than when I met them. Guys, let's leave you with some core values to be a good family man, to be a father, you know, to sit there and be a good friend, and to be there when someone really needs you.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it's easy to say, I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm getting paid more money. But you know what? I'd rather stay with you because we got something special right here. And that's something special. We're losing that right now because that special is getting lost in NIL. That special is getting lost in sitting there in portals because they're being asked to fight for a job. It's getting lost with coaches who are going to sit there and go where the grass is greener. They think it's greener. And you know what? And if I don't get my way, I'm going to take you down with me. Yeah. That's wrong. Those are all the wrong things you're trying to teach. And I'll tell you what, NCAA, step in. Put guardrails on this thing. Just like you said, I don't know what the exact answer is, and I'm not sure how we'd go about doing it, but you got guys, and you get a guy like Nick Saban that, to me, represents what everything is about. Did he coach you hard? Yeah. But when you left there, everyone that he coached, they said, I love playing with that man. He made me a better person.
For sure.
You know, and people like that, when they walk away, that's a sign. That's a sign that, you know, something's wrong with the system.
Yeah. You know what? And I'll just cap it off with this. You make a good point, and I validate that because I've heard from college players say, how can a school ask me to be loyal to the program if the coaching staff isn't?
Yeah.
And I simply answer it by saying they can't. They can't ask you to be loyal if your coaches aren't.
It rings hollow. It's been ringing hollow for a long time.
Yeah.